think it's here. Yep. Yep, heavy. That's it. So, in case you can't tell, I am like kind of extremely excited and like losing my mind right now over this. This has been 15 years in the making. I am like I'm shaking right now. It's almost surreal. So let's go ahead and open this up. It's a very special unboxing. Of course, you likely know what this is based on the title. Try not to cut too deep there. Okay. There we go. All right. Let's see here. These first three I knew about, and they're not as interesting. Edwards Adaptabel, this is the one that's missing the label, 4-inch. Model 340, 120 volt models. And there's two more. Oops. This one, which probably would have had the same label as that one. Out of frame. Edwards E Company. Label 1, number 340, 120 volts. And then this one, I'll open this one on camera so you guys can see it, because that's technically what this is about. It's an unboxing. This one I think is actually in better... Whoa! Well, my phone, for some reason, decided to just delete the entire bit of footage that I just recorded unboxing this, and I am really upset about that. Because out of all the things for it to fail on, or like just screw up on, this is the one that it decided to do that. So I'm really, really upset about that right now. See, I don't know what happened after I dropped my camera, but yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna pretend that didn't happen. But anyways, this right here is quite possibly it's actually, yeah, this is my holy grail of fire alarm related equipment. These Stromberg bells were in my elementary school, the 6-inch ones like this, and if you remember, I made a video years and years ago of the fire alarms at my old elementary school, except it's the one that was in filmed in landscape orientation, but it uploaded in portrait orientation for some reason, which I never fixed for some reason. But anyways, that was back in, I think, 2015, 2014 maybe. And then I went back in 2015 for my sister's 5th grade graduation and took pictures of the 6-inch bells there. And those are the pictures that have been circulating around the internet for 9 years now. And up until about a week ago, we had no clear image of the label of these. So I had no idea what the scratched in number on the type number was. And they were kind of an enigma, and they kind of still are. Now, they've been spotted elsewhere over the years. One collector has, who lives in Massachusetts, spotted a few at a school up there, an elementary school, I believe, and they're all behind Grail, so you can't really see them that well. But they do appear to be the same model as these. And there also do exist 10-inch outdoor ones, or at least 10-inch ones, 10-inch models, I should say. And the model number of those are still kind of unknown. The label seems to say M18002-A, I think. I don't know. But those have been found. There's 4 of them at my elementary school. No, there is 4. Yeah, there's one by the 5th grade, one by the 4th grade, one by the new wing, and one by the gym. Okay, yeah, I was right. yeah, anyways, the 10-inch ones have been found elsewhere as well. My good friend, Vintage Collections, who lives over in Michigan, has actually found several over the years. He actually found, I think, one last year that still had its label, that was in fairly good condition, and then he found another one, actually I think a couple this year earlier, that just a few like last month, that didn't have their labels on them. Now, having this one, when this one appeared on eBay, I could not click buy it now fast enough, let me tell you. It was like, my heart was racing, my hands were shaking, it was crazy. Of course, it came with these 3 adaptabels, which I do love, and I do love adaptabels, but this was the main reason, of course, why I bought this lot of alarms. So that logo has always I've always loved that logo, the look of the block lettering. It's just been so cool to me. And I did confirm this is the exact same label that the ones from my elementary school have. Voltage 115.85 amps, and then the type number, you can't see what the scratched in number is, but safe to say that it's the same model number. Now, another mystery that was solved when this listing appeared on eBay was the OEM who manufactured these. I originally thought that they were a Federal Signal product because the gong shape looks similar to the Federal Signal vibratone bells that were at my in the auditorium building at my high school. And then I thought they were IBM, simply because the 10-inch outdoor ones have an IBM, or they have a little stamp on towards the center it looks like it says IBM, but I guess it doesn't now, evidently. So then I thought they were Edwards, because if you look at them, I was rewatching the video from my elementary school, and if you look at them from down below here, you can see they kind of resemble, if I can get it over here, this, with those 3 screws around the housing and the round base. And I thought maybe they were like an Edwards, a rebranded 6-inch monitor bell, because those existed. They're very rare, but they did exist. But then my good friend Vintage Collections, who also happened to find the other Stromberg bells, made an observation when we saw the back of the unit. The back of them is painted red, as you can see, which is very interesting. And he noticed that it looked very similar to the old Honeywell bells from like the 60s, I believe. And so he actually has one that's in very good condition. I think it's a new old stock unit. And the holes matched up and everything. Everything was pretty much, it was pretty much confirmed that this is a rebranded Honeywell model. Now, I was just watching, or just noticing around the base here. It looks like the striker is missing, so I don't know. Yeah, that's going to be an issue. So it looks like we're not going to be able to test it in this video. Kind of upset about that, but we can take the gong off because it is the gong screw is loose, and just show you what that looks like. So there's 2 washers, and then this nut, the label, very similar to the old Edwards, the Canadian Edwards adaptabels. The gong, and then here's the base. So yeah, I'm not sure what kind of striker this one would have, but if anybody happens to have an extra striker, I'd be greatly, greatly appreciated, because I'd love to get this one working. And there are 4 screws around the base. Okay, not 3. Interesting. It's the other side of the gong. It's actually in very good condition. I'd love to know what who sold these, who distributed them, where I can get a striker from, and just more about them, really, because these are still really just kind of an enigma to me. No idea what their deal is. And this is evidently the same division of Stromberg that rebranded the fire alarm devices. I think they rebranded Federal Signal, horns. I know they rebranded Gamewell Sentries, and I don't know, can't remember what else they had rebranded, but a couple of other devices, and they did not ever use that logo on anything we've found, other than the bells. So, very, very interesting. So, I'm not sure if there's anything else to say about this one. If I ever happen to find a striker, I will definitely give it a test, but give it a hit here. Let me find something to ring it with. Let's see, do I have a pen here? Very, very cool. I'm very, very, very happy about this. Even though it doesn't have this striker, still a really, really incredibly rare piece to have. I cleaned up the label a little bit, so it's kind of shinier. Looks a little bit newer and cleaner. Looks really nice. And you guys probably remember these two bells that I have, the Stromberg-Carlson bells, the TLB-6 telephone ringer bells, so to speak. Well, these were also kind of a contributor into the belief that these were an Edwards product. Evidently, that was wrong. Now, I'm not sure if the Stromberg-Carlson name was also used on these kinds of bells, but I doubt it, considering they didn't really, like, these were hardly ever found. Now, I did want to mention that now I have the entire setup from, or like all the devices from my elementary school. The EST Genesis horn strobes, the EST, or actually Edwards 270 SPOs, even though my elementary school had EST branded ones, and the Stromberg 6-inch bell. So that's really cool. Now I'd like to just talk about some of my memories regarding these. When I was, I think, in 2nd grade, that was the first time I had noticed them, because I was sitting, it must have been like a in-class reading or something. The classroom door was open, everybody was quiet, and the bells kept making this weird noise. It was like a whistling almost. It sounded kind of like or something like that. It was really, really weird. Don't know how that happened. Maybe they were like powering them with less voltage, but that went on for a great deal of time, and then out of nowhere, the fire alarm system went off for one full, like, code 3 blast, and then it shut off and the bells continued their weird whistling thing. And then I also used to think that the label said Strombers. I thought the G was an S, so that would look something like like that. It's kind of funny. Yes, so then when I was in 5th grade, we used to take like music lessons with the music teacher. I played the oboe, so I took, like, it was a designated time taken out of whatever, a certain period, for like 30 minutes or so, that you'd go and have like a little private lesson with the music teacher and other classmates that played that same instrument. And one time I was walking to my lesson, and out of nowhere the bells just started ringing at full blast. First time I'd ever heard them ring. And I just thought that was really weird. And they went off a few times, if I recall. Yeah, it was really weird. And then ever since then, they rang them at the same time as the PA system bell. They had a beginning of the day bell and end of the day bell over the PA system. It was a Westminster chime tone over the PA system. I think I've mentioned that before. And that went off, and the bells would ring at the same time. Although, as time went on that year, it had to have been like, probably, it was the second half of the year. The first time they went off when I was on my way to music class probably happened around like January. And they went off at the same time as the PA system tone. And then every day they'd get a little bit later and later and later. I can only imagine that maybe whatever system they were running on, the clock was mechanical and it was just a little bit slow. So it ended up being like at the end of the year, there was the PA system Westminster chime tone would go off, and then 15 minutes later the Strombergs would all ring. And it was only the 6-inch ones inside. These. The 10-inch ones outside were actually used for when after a fire drill. They used to ring them to tell everybody to come back inside, which I've also mentioned before. And I don't think they use those anymore either. They hadn't used those for a number of... I think they stopped using them when I was in like 2nd or 3rd grade. But yeah, now they just sit unused in the hallways. They are still there. I have checked on my school's Facebook page. And yeah, that's really basically it regarding like my memories involving these. I've been looking for them ever since I left the school. And actually, when I was at that school, I remember looking up on the online the Stromberg Bell 6-inch or something like that on the school computer. Couldn't find anything back then, and yeah, like I said, when this listing came up, I absolutely jumped with joy. Could not hit buy it now fast enough. I really I'm thrilled to have this. Really would like to find a striker for it, as I mentioned. So yeah. I just noticed something else. The striker is kind of off, or like it's not firing vertically, like straight downwards. It's firing off to the side at a 45-degree angle, which actually solves another mystery that I completely forgot to mention. The one that was in the 5th grade wing at the very end of the hallway had an issue where it would ring like intermittently, like not like it sounded like it may have been mounted upside down, maybe. I'm not entirely sure, but that was really weird. I never figured out what the cause of that was. And another thing I also forgot to mention is there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There were 7 of them. 2 in the longer hallways down the right side of the building, and 2 in each of those hallways, and then 1 in each of the shorter hallways down the left side of the building, and then 1 in the gym that was mounted higher up. I think it was about the same height as the 10-inch outdoor ones. And that one I actually hit with a ball one time while we were in gym class. I don't know what we were doing, but I decided it would be a good idea to throw one of those rubber balls up at it. And the gong wasn't on all the way, or like it wasn't tightened on there. It was kind of loose, so the gong kind of rocked a little bit. So I thought, no, let's not do that again, lest the gong and label and bolt come falling down on my head. Although then I probably could have stolen the label and the gong and everything, but I digress. So, I guess that is about it for this video of this extremely rare Stromberg Bell. I hope that the unboxing footage reappears, but I doubt it will. So, thank you guys for watching as always, and I will see you in the next video.